Welcome, everybody. This is Real Talk. Today we have Johnny, who's joining us. Of course, we have Alex and the beautiful Aaron. And today we're going to be talking about.
Fuck that. The
What?
beautiful Alex and Aaron.
Okay, my bad. Oh, the beautiful Alex and the beautiful Aaron. Okay, we got you. We got it. All right.
What about just the beautiful people? How about that?
The beautiful people.
Yeah, happy Sunday,
Beautiful
guys.
people,
Happy Sunday.
beautiful people.
Happy Sunday.
Beautiful people getting up on a Sunday morning for Real Talk.
You got
Awesome.
It. Actually, on
Awesome.
one
I
of
think
the.
I was just trying to do a Marilyn Manson song. The beautiful people, beautiful people.
Hey, and today is a day that we ended up getting some extra sleep because hey, it's daylight savings time, so literally it's technically 10:22 where I am and so forth. So everybody is getting a little bit of extra sleep today. Daylight saving time, beautiful thing. We could also talk about that too.
I was wondering about that.
Yeah,
sure, we could talk about that too. That stupidness. Absolutely.
Well, I was wondering about that. So yeah,
unless you live in Saskatchewan, then you're laughing.
and then it
it's
doesn't
true. Well,
change.
Saskatchewan doesn't change one way or another, but the only
Yeah.
reason
No.
why for that is like participation. I always thought it was something that everybody did, but even when I lived in Arizona, they do not observe daylight saving time. So it's a complete province and states
Stupid
phenomenon. I don't even think they do that in other countries around the world. So
Actually, that's a good question. I'm gonna find out. Actually, that's a really good question because
I don't
now that I
they
think
do
about
in
it,
Japan, or in the
No, you know
continent
what?
of Africa or Europe or anything.
No, now that you mention it, I think you're right because at times we're like 6 hours from Ghana and at times we're 5 hours from Ghana. You know what I mean? So they don't change, we do.
Exactly, right? Like it's a weird thing. Like it seems like it's this North American phenomenon that happens and only in the north, like in this hemisphere. It doesn't happen.
Yeah.
I don't even think
And-
Mexico does it, to be
And
honest.
the more technology we get, the more frustrating it is because you gotta change every fucking clock.
Oh, I know. God, if it doesn't change itself, you're running around and you're like looking at your stove
Yes.
and your microwave. And you're like,
That's where the cell phones are ahead of time.
yeah.
There was a big debate last year on kiboshing in Alberta, wasn't there? At some
Yes.
point?
There always
There's,
is.
there's a big debate about kiboshing it all over the place, or
Yeah.
where it applies, anyways.
Yeah.
You know, one of
Yeah.
the things, if you're working, let's say if I was working at the hospital last night, I got to work for an extra hour. I remember that being a debate way back in the day. I don't
Yeah.
even think we got paid for that.
No,
It's like you
we
had to,
don't.
because at 2:00, you had to do it again.
Yeah, it just reverts back. Yeah, and it's funny.
Well, I
because
enjoyed
you
my
don't
time
get-
yesterday because I knew I was gaining 1 hour. And I think if I gain 1 hour in a day, wow.
There
So
you
that was my hour. So we should
That's
be
so
all
stupid
running
though.
very,
You
very
already
ahead of
lost.
schedule.
You already lost an hour early in the year though, so you're not really gaining
Hey,
anything.
but I'm just
You're
saying
fool-
like last
You're
night.
just fooling yourself.
I got to fool myself somehow.
That's right. But it's
So I
a,
just
it's
took
a-
advantage of the extra
See?
hour and I thought, well, I'm going to try to be really, really far ahead of myself all week. So
yep.
hey,
Yeah,
It's
I'd
one of
rather
those
not fool
things that
myself. I'd rather just be on a steady clock.
yeah,
Fuck
Yeah,
the spring
'cause I
ahead,
got
fall backwards.
confused.
Spring ahead, fall backwards bullshit.
it's
I got
stupid.
really confused last night because I guess it changes right at midnight. Is that the idea?
Oh, only last night you got
You.
confused, Johnny. Okay. Oh, only last night.
Well, because I saw a commercial, I had no idea it was going on.
Yes,
I
yes.
saw a
For the very
commercial.
first time, Johnny's been confused. For the very first time.
the very first time you got
It's
that
the
right.
first time I'm admitting it, Alex. Okay.
Okay, touche.
Confessions on a
Touche.
Sunday. Confessions on a Sunday.
And yeah, I was informed about a Sunday obligation in the morning pretty late last night. Well, it was
Well, first of all, it's not an obligation. It's a pleasure and an honor.
a pleasure and an
Alright.
honor
And
And an invite.
and an
yes.
invite. Yes,
and an
No,
opportunity to
I
and an
didn't mean it.
opportunity, most importantly, to monetize.
I didn't mean it that way. But I was really excited to join, so I was really concerned
on.
about being on time.
And this is why I'm so excited to have you on here, Johnny, because you see a lot of things you don't mean.
Terrible.
Like I said to
we'll get
Malcolm,
there,
I said to
Alex. We'll get
Malcolm,
there.
hey Johnny, I said to Malcolm before we all joined here this morning, I said, well, I crossed paths with Johnny one time. We went out to that nice restaurant in Calgary.
Oh yeah.
But you guys were making me nervous the way that you and Alex debate. It's like debating, but it's like friend fighting or something. And I'm sitting there going,
Oh,
oh
you
my
should
God.
have been at my place after when we had the OJ Simpson discussion.
Yeah.
I was
Oh,
there.
really?
I was still there.
Oh, were you?
Pretty
Did we
sure.
start? Did we start that one while you were still there?
Oh, anyways, so
we'll find all
friends
kinds of stupid
debating.
things to argue about just for
Yeah,
fun.
forget about, yeah, you thought that nigger was innocent, didn't you?
he
Wow.
was
Yeah,
not
yeah,
guilty.
let's go there. He's what?
He's not guilty.
He's not guilty. Sorry. The judicial system never gets it wrong because there's over thousands of innocent black men in jail on death row because
I
the
said
judicial
he's
system
not
got it right.
guilty. That's all.
Yeah.
Innocent white
Yeah.
people too. Innocent white people too. Come on.
True.
No, fair enough, but mostly black. Like, come on.
I don't know.
You-
I'm
you
an
don't-
atypical. I'm an atypical. You wouldn't think someone like me would be detained for bullshit either, you know?
I saw
I mean,
something.
yeah,
it happens
I saw
right
something
across the
about that
board.
on the
No,
news.
well, once you open your mouth, you could see it.
Not on the news the other day that they were.
Do you guys remember where
Hey.
you were when OJ was?
You
being-
guys, awareness
Yes.
is a beautiful thing.
You know what? I remember being in front of the TV, watching that Bronco highway ride, thinking that nigger's guilty.
Well,
Were you
never.
in school or where were you?
You know, I think I was at my dad's actually at the time, and I remember I think the night before watching the press conference about him and those crocodile tears. We will find the person that killed my wife.
My wife, yeah.
I don't remember seeing that. I don't remember seeing
And then-
that beforehand.
And then
You
the
don't
next day is
remember?
and
No.
then the next day the news tightened. Like this was just like not even like a what do you call it? He was just being brought in for questioning.
Yeah.
I'm gonna kill myself. I'm gonna kill myself.
And he still flew the coop.
Oh, he definitely flew the coop because I mean he and his buddy
I
or
forget.
something like that.
I forget.
I
his-
definitely remember the chase.
I
It was
forget
one of
his
those
co-driver,
things
but-
that you remember where you were when it happened.
I was in
that-
high
that-
school, so I remember
That right
it
there for me
like-
was enough of an admission of guilt.
Yeah,
Because no innocent person reacts that way.
yeah, but
Okay,
Alex,
I don't care what
love
happened in
didn't
court.
fit,
I don't care
man.
what happened in court. I don't care who they got to plant the gloves. I don't care who they paid off in the LAPD. Okay, because
That's got to be. one of the
they're still trying to
best
make up for
court
years of Rodney
cases
King. I'm
in the
sure.
history of mankind.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah, how many years
Actually,
ago
I
was
think
that?
Rodney King.
Well,
Didn't
Rodney King was
the LA
almost-
riots happen before OJ?
way before.
Yeah.
No, Rodney King was way before OJ.
Mm.
Way before.
And Reginald Denny and all that stuff, right? Like it was pretty those
Sure.
90s, that early 90s was so intense. Could you imagine if it happened now? Like how many cameras would be everywhere? I don't even know if OJ would have been able to like drive down the street like he did, like I mean down the highway and everything like that. But I was in high
Yeah.
I
was
can't
in
even
high-
imagine what it'd be
junior
like.
high. No, I was in high school when OJ did that.
Yeah,
I remember
well,
seeing the TV,
bro.
the TV on those stupid little carts and stuff like that when they bring a TV into your room and everything, but they had it all playing out in our hallway because it was part of, I want to say at the time, the English journalism club or whatever did that and had those TVs all over the place. And I mean, coming from a school that is predominantly white, it was kind of interesting because there's like basically 5 black people that are in that school, and I'm like, do I side with OJ because he's running and I'm a kid and I'm like, and I'm one of 5 people that are black in this place, or do I just side with the side of caution and thinking guilty men, like innocent men don't run? You know what I mean? So these are the things that are going through my head as a kid. I was like, what do I do?
Yeah.
I
See,
think we- I think we
I sided
actually-
with. Sorry, go ahead, Aaron.
Yeah, I think we actually talked about this on one of our former episodes where there is children of color. It's known, mostly right over here, anyways, right? That they are getting shot in their back because they think they've got weapons or something like this, you know? So when you said, wonder if that would happen now, like, how come, you know?
Well,
No,
it was
not that they
because he
think,
was playing
not that they think they have weapons. They're getting shot in the back because
Or whatever,
of their skin
whatever.
color.
Well, yeah, but like they try to say, like after the fact, they say the reason
Yeah,
why,
yeah,
you
yeah,
know,
yeah,
or
yeah,
something
yeah.
like
That's
this.
just the excuse, right? Yeah, whatever excuse.
Yeah, and
for
not
Oh,
even
yeah,
like
because
even
it's like
blood or whatever,
it's their playbook, right? It's kind of like weapons of mass destruction. Let's go invade that country. No weapons respond.
Yeah.
Oh well.
And did
Yeah.
you ever
And
notice?
then that fucker's still running around with no trial or no court case or no nothing. And that asshole should be in jail for war crimes. Period.
What you guys is?
Mr. Weapons of Mass Destruction. Lying motherfucker.
What you guys is? I
And-
missed that.
and just to
President
piggyback on
George
what
Bush.
Aaron-
Well,
President George Bush Jr.
nobody ever did call me back from the prime minister's office about the guns in this country, even, you know, because I
course
was
not.
calling on behalf of
Never
the.
got a
That's
call.
almost like a month ago now, Malcolm.
Yeah,
I know.
no, and it was
And
going
he's gonna
back to
skirt that issue forever. He's never like,
Well-
I don't think that prime minister's office is ever. I've never seen them answer a question directly, like
Oh,
ever.
okay.
Like Pierre
Okay.
Poilievre always puts them on notice, and Justin's knee-jerk reaction is not to answer and to do the rope-a-dope all the time. Like
Oh, okay.
he'll say, "Oh, well, Mr. Speaker," he'll say something like, if Pierre says, "Okay, what are you gonna do about like the craziness in housing and affordable housing?" And then he'll be like, "Well, Mr. Speaker, we the liberals, we have done great things for Canada. We've extended forestry hours or some crap like that." He'll say something
Okay.
stupid like that. So I'm not shocked that they just didn't even answer you, because
Oh, okay.
that's their
Okay.
easiest way to do the rope-a-dope, just not answer. Is it's like, oh, she's got a good question. Damn, how are we gonna answer that? Oh, we're not gonna answer anything.
Mhm.
Like,
What are
that's
they?
the
what
reality
were you
that we're
trying
living in,
to
right? Sucks.
what were you
What's
trying
that,
to
bro?
reach them about?
Oh, multiple things, but you know, on countryside in Canada, children are being shot by other children with guns.
Yeah.
And in this country, guns are illegal as far as you know, they're illegal. So when children are shooting other children with guns, there's a big problem here. Countryside, Canada. So
Well,
the call
Well,
went into
let's
Ottawa.
get it corrected. The guns aren't illegal.
no, they're
know,
not
you
in
can't-
this
yeah,
country.
yeah.
Like they're actually.
Yeah, guns.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
It's,
Like
it's
I
a
mean,
misconception.
just
I
couldn't
think.
be
I'm
carrying
not surprised you
guns.
don't.
people
think that.
people carry
Or like
guns
there's
illegally.
rules.
People
Yeah,
carry
or
guns
there's
illegally.
rules.
Yeah,
Yeah.
like you have to have a
But
license
there's
and
like
what have you.
more, I guess it's just like when the calls keep on coming to us, like more and more violence, you know, they're just laying around, I guess. I don't really exactly know, you know, but there's bloodshed by guns countryside and
Oh, for
people
sure.
don't like
And
it.
like
So
people that store their guns properly, like in a gun vault, or like, you know, like a little case or something like that, or have some, you know, some way of securing their weapon.
oh yeah, because
and
I
then-
think that's the rules, right?
Yeah, but I mean,
Yeah.
how many people follow those rules? Like, we have the gun registry, so all the honest people follow the rules. But I mean, when's the last time a criminal follows all the rules? Like, I mean, at the end of the day, I thought the pure definition of a criminal is somebody that goes against the rules. So then why have a registry? Because they're not going to register their AK
Exactly.
when they want to shoot you.
Yeah, I get that.
No,
So it's just
exactly.
like a big, massive,
Crazy.
massive issue, I guess. Yeah.
I mean, in comparison's sake, like if you compare us to the United States, like we are quantum leaps ahead of them, because they have some sort of homicide or some sort of gun related action pretty much every minute of the day. Like,
Mhm.
it's nuts out in the States. I'm surprised their population hasn't been controlled to a point where, you know, a lot of these people are dying. But like, when I last looked, and actually I'm going to pull this up. Oh, and before I forget, daylight savings time was created in July 1st, 1908. I did not know it went all the way back to World War I. But yeah, just to give you guys an idea, like Port Arthur of Ontario, Canada, was the first city to enact daylight savings time in July 1st, 1908. This was
Fucking
followed
idiots.
by Aurelia, Ontario, introduced by Williams Frost, while mayor from 1911 to 1912. So I guess we as Canadians created this phenomenon. But the other thing I was looking for is like, oh yeah, gun related. We'll say gun related incidents in the United States for 2023. I know it's something pretty bizarre related.
But while you're on that, O.J. Simpson was in 94 and Ronnie King was in 91.
Oh wow. Oh, good call. Thanks for it.
I remember the Rodney King one pretty cool too, or pretty vividly too. That one was pretty because that would have been right in graduating year, I think.
Yeah, well, 91. It was also like, if you think about it, those riots were crazy after that. Like
that happened really quick.
And if I'm not mistaken, isn't that around the time that NW, no, not NWA. Yeah, was it the NWA that said fuck the police or whatever during that time because of
it would have been a little before that, I think. That might have been around the similar time that Luke got from Two Live Crew got banned. That might have been right about that time. Banned in the USA, remember?
Oh yeah, I remember that song. Oh man.
Yeah.
I love that song.
Yeah, fuck the police was that 1988.
Yeah, that would have been, but it might have been the time when it might have been around the time when Two Live Crew got actually banned. Or no, they would have got banned before that too. But it would have been close, I guess. Banned in the USA. Remember then he came out with that tune, Banned in the USA.
You guys want to know something crazy? I wonder if this is actually accurate, but I'm gonna put this on the screen to share with everybody because I'm actually staggered by this number because, like, do you see this number? 35,000 people killed in gun violence so far in 2023.
Is that the world or just US?
That's good.
That's the United States. Died gun violence in the US this year.
Wow.
Gun violence archives. That is stupid.
I would have said the world.
What about the war-torn countries right now that you spoke about last week on Real Talk, you guys? Like,
they're actually not like, well, based on the stat that I seem to remember with Alex, I want to say they're in the 3,500, so they're not even anywhere near.
So let's wrap our heads around this because that's the year's not even over yet. But if you're assuming that over 352 days, right? 352 days in a year.
That's 365.
365. Sorry. 365.
Yeah, 365.
And it's like 95 people per day that are being killed
in the States.
In the States.
And then look at this.
95. and that's assuming that's like the year's not even out yet. So assume they end up at 50,000.
That's insane.
At the end of the year.
That is insane.
Of course. Oh, interesting. Most of it is along the eastern side.
Oh yeah.
So
they say like
deaths by
some
suicide.
of the most violent places in the United States.
19,000 by suicide.
Yeah, it's awful. 19,730.
I mean, that's just like not even considering the gun part of that.
Leave that map up there for a sec, Malcolm.
421 shootings so far this year that are mass shootings. Oh, this is the mass shooting thing.
You know what? I always thought this is kind of a bit off topic, but not really. Is when it comes to and Aaron was sort of mentioning earlier that I think one of the biggest differences in Canada and the United States is there's a handful, if not half the states in the US where you're actually allowed to still, get a permit to carry a gun. Like Texas, I don't even know if you even need a permit. Do you know if you've lived in the South there a bit in the States? There's some states in the South where I don't think you need a permit even to carry a gun around, do you?
Well, put it this way. When I used to live in Arizona, here's what happened. I'm a big fan of Michael Moore and Bowling for Columbine and Fahrenheit 9/11 and stuff like that. So I put a theory out to find out if you could literally get a gun with opening up a bank account. Now, I didn't open up this account, but yes, you could at the time go into, like, I went and checked out, like, I don't know, I want to say it might have been Wells Fargo or maybe even a smaller branch, because in the States, you can, a person can literally open up a bank and own a bank as long as they have money. But anyways, I tell you this because it's fact.
The incentive was you get a free gun.
Yeah, it was an actual, like, it was like giving out a toaster.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, it was like,
would you like the Magnum or would you like the AK-47?
Right? Like, it was crazy. I can't remember what type of gun it was, but I mean, like, I was like, this is allowed. And then you can go into places like Walmart. You could go into, there's a lot of places that you would never think should have guns, but they have their whole gun case. They have like tons of ammunition. It's not like in Canada where you can get, I'd assume you could maybe get a shotgun. I haven't looked for a shotgun or like a bow in a Walmart before, but I'm pretty sure you can still get that stuff there. But like, it was more rampant. It was almost like you could go to the convenience store and get a gun.
No, for sure. Like, yeah, and 38 states allow open carry without a permit. 38 states.
There you go.
38 states allow,
and seven require a permit.
So 38 states, sorry,
allow open carry. Without like you don't need a permit in 37 states.
You don't have to tell anybody. And I want to say,
if you're just carrying around a gun, 38 states. That's more than I thought. That's more than I thought.
Yeah,
and I think,
and I don't. Sorry, go ahead. And I don't know about the other. Because what is it? 50 states. I don't know about the other 5.
Yeah, there's 50 states. And then there's the District of Columbia, which is
well, the statistics. I'd like to know the statistics of all those states as opposed to you know, when it comes to the mass shootings, because there's a lot of theories around that, you know, the more people, if everyone carried guns, there'd be less mass shootings, right? I don't know about mass shootings, but definitely there'd be less innocent mass shootings. I'm thinking, like, if you go back to the Wild West where every single person carried around a gun, you know, you didn't see any school shootings back in those days, I don't think.
Well, a lot of people still carry a lot of guns out in the States. Like, I mean, it's almost as it's like as natural as breathing air sometimes.
Where was that last
very few
shooting there with that guy in the bowling alley there? Was that was up in Maine or something like that?
But was there really less shooting, or was it less reporting?
I think it's less reporting.
Maybe.
Because like, think about it. Now everybody has a camera. Like, literally.
Where was that state though? The last one in the bowling alley with that guy with the automatic weapon that came in and started.
Oh, 1 second. I'll find out. Do you still need the?
No, that's fine.
Okay, so how about this? We'll just type in latest mass shooting in the US.
Well, geez, by the sounds of it, could have happened yesterday. We just wouldn't.
Oh, things are always happening in the States. Like, gun violence is stupid.
I want to say it was in Maine,
but yeah, their focus is getting rid of President Assad.
There it is. There's that guy there.
Which guy? This? Oh, yeah. This kid?
No. The one above here. This guy in Lewiston. Where's Lewiston? Maine. Yeah.
Oh, there.
Yeah, because I thought Maine was one of those states that had you didn't need to carry concealed.
Well, yeah, I don't know, but I guess we can Google that. But Maine's on that East Coast too, where there's a majority of concentrated shootings.
Yeah, like, it's right here. Maine is somewhere. I want to say Maine is right here.
I think Maine's right at the top. What's the very top one, isn't it?
Oh, maybe you might be right. I know it's close to New Brunswick. It might be this one.
Yeah, because I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, it's right. It's right next door. It's right next door to New Brunswick.
Gotcha.
they were talking about him probably being in Canada.
Oh,
When
great.
they were looking for him.
Great. That's all we need.
Yeah. Well, they
Our
couldn't
son is
find him
great.
for about a week, I guess it was.
It's not, it's not unusual when it happens. Like, I mean, what about that one what was it, in Texas? That guy went in and just obliterated like all those children, like they were grade
Well,
4.
there's been a couple of those brutal ones.
Yeah.
I don't know. I thought that other one was up in those northern states too, northeastern states too. That one that was really bad. Well, they're all really bad.
Mass shootings 2023. Let's see.
And it says Maine has very few laws in place to prevent gun violence. So there you go.
Oh well, yeah.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure that you can walk around in Maine with a gun, which kind of
Well, in most,
Yeah, they don't require permits in Maine.
yeah, I
either.
didn't think so. So you would think that someone in that bloody bowling alley would have had a gun kicking around and could have taken this guy out before he wasted a bunch of people at least. But
you would think.
Well, I don't think people go bowling thinking there's gonna be a mass shooting.
no,
So,
well, I don't think
but
they
again,
go anywhere in Maine thinking there's going to be a mass shooting. I don't think
well,
Maine.
I think that in this current environment, anywhere in the U.S., you almost could assume there could be.
That's what I mean. They seem to happen in all these places where you don't think they're going to happen.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I remember there was a year that The Dark Knight came out for Batman with Christopher Nolan and
Yeah.
Christian Bale.
Somebody was acting it out or something like that.
Well, he went into the theater and that was in
some people.
Colorado, and he shot like everybody that was in there because he had a full automatic. Actually, I think it was 2 guys.
I don't remember that one.
Maybe 1, but it was
Yeah, I remember that one.
like everybody's watching the thing. They think that they're witnessing some sort of live action thing, and then the guy just opens fire and just
this is
like
some
obliterates
cool
like
effects, actual blood.
Yeah,
this actually hurts.
yeah, exactly. I'm dying. Like it's crazy. Like the States is out of control. Like
something very similar happened when I was in Indonesia. In New Zealand, there was a terrorist attack, and it was a white guy with a GoPro type thing on his head, and he went from on a Friday where there's the mosques, they're praying on a Friday,
Right.
this prayer time, and he literally went in there from place to place, and he had it like from the back of his car. He just went in there and shot like just like 500-600 people from place to place. It was like, and people all around the world were watching it.
That is crazy.
And I was really close to that at that, like I was only like upon, not too far, and I just was like, holy man. And this was like definitely 100% because I'm there as a visitor and I'm just seeing all this stuff. It was just like, because they're Muslim, he had some sort of problem against this but like it's his problem, like I just was just so sickened by this, because these are families, this, whether it's a school or a church or the Quran, like the mosque or a hockey arena or a bowling alley, it's all garbage.
Yep, it is.
So get these people off, get them put away before they take, because that's 500 people in one day, and that affects people for years and years. So it's crap.
Do you guys think that because we have, and I mean, at the end of the day, we've always had violent video games, but I feel that some of these individuals are now desensitized as to the value of life, because
100%. I mean, 100% that plays into it, and it's not just video games; it's TV, like cartoons, like everything, like since childhood, like you can't even watch a lot of kids' cartoons without some type of violence or some. There's so many of them that 100% people get desensitized too. I recall watching a movie some years back, and throughout this movie, people getting slaughtered left and right, and it's a movie of people in the movie theater watching this movie. Okay.
Oh, really?
And at the like it's about a director, right? A filmmaker. And then I forget the name of this movie though, but at the end of the movie, they shoot a dog. Well, that's where people draw the line.
Damn.
Everybody left that theater.
Oh, I
Right.
don't doubt
And
that.
so the point is though, they sat through while humans
All
were
the
being slaughtered
humans
left and
being
right.
slaughtered.
Nobody
Till it was a dog.
like they're when you want to talk about desensitivity, and so that's what the movie was about, was how desensitized people are to human killing, right?
That's crazy. So the
Yeah.
second that the dog dies, everybody's just like, no,
Everybody's out.
too far.
Everybody's out. Yeah.
Well, I think
You know what I mean?
society over
And
time
you also
just
and you also notice in movies, even like at the end where there's like animal killing, they'll actually make, you know, a disclosure, no animals were
harmed
hurt in the making of this movie, but they never say no humans.
Yeah, that's true. That is very
Yeah.
true.
I think society over time, just like we just became complacent or compliant with the things that happen, whether it's all the different topics that we've talked about on this series for the last multiple months.
Yeah, and I mean, we just went through Halloween, and you get all the not Halloween movies. And I remember as a kid, I was kind of into it, sort of. But really, there's stupid bloodbaths. Like, really, who really is into that, Johnny?
Yeah.
What?
Well, I actually I am. I know. I watched like Freddy versus Jason.
Yeah.
I watched.
can't watch scary movies.
Okay, there you go. Surprise! Yeah, see, and I've seen them.
I can't
but
watch movies like that.
I think they're the dumbest things. Like, you know, people are getting killed. Like, why would you?
I can't even watch extremely violent movies like on, like, for example, last night I was having a really nice relaxing day, and then of course I wanted to get up early and join this chat. So I if I put on,
Thanks for joining, by the way, John.
thanks for what?
Thanks for joining, by the way.
Oh, well, thanks for having me, man. But I was excited. But I can't watch violent movies like late at night, because it makes me too nervous to fall asleep. Like I have to put on, so like I was even watching Thor. I put on Thor because I had a whole bunch of things recorded, because I kind of need TV to fall asleep.
Right.
Like I'm trying to get away from that, but I need TV on. I need to relax me, to take my brain off other things so I could kind of calm down and fall asleep. If I put on a violent movie, it fucks everything right up.
I guess so.
Even
I guess so.
even Thor, like I was trying to find everything. I had to, I've been putting
an action movie before sleep. Okay.
Yeah. I can't do it.
Your choice of movie before
just
sleep is like not very
relax.
relaxing. You know,
Like,
I'd put on like a documentary of like penguins or something like that.
Yeah.
Or some ASMR or
Well,
MSR.
no, but I
or
mean,
whatever they call it.
even like during, even not necessarily falling asleep. Like I don't like watching shit like that, man. Even like I said, Thor was making me nervous last night. I was just like, Jesus Christ.
But there's you know, it's funny. We as a society can make an endless amount of violent movies. We don't do very feel-good movies all that often anymore. I mean, it seems like there's been a pendulum change. So
What about the Barbie movie? I went to the Barbie movie. That was
Yeah, and Strays. You got to watch Strays if you haven't watched Strays. Like that is
right.
hilarious.
Man. Your pup was loving that movie.
so was I. So was I.
Strays, eh?
You tuned right in.
Yeah. No, they I think they hit that one out of the park. Yeah,
Oh, nice.
really good job.
I watched
a lot of people in that movie. Yeah,
picked up all the human and dog nuances, and yeah, it was priceless.
I love it. I love it.
those are the more fun, uplifting things, John.
Yeah.
You want to have a good night's sleep, John, just like, you know, go sit in the hot tub for a little bit,
exactly.
put on like a nice cozy something, and find yourself a woman, and
this new
No.
this new cable I got has the NASA channel.
Hey, Johnny.
Okay.
No, not necessarily the
listening.
latter part, because the latter part might bring you sleepless nights.
What?
More
Oh, the
sleepless
woman?
nights.
He wasn't even
Especially
listening.
the woman I've been seeing. Yeah, and not in a good way. No.
Hey, sleepless nights with a woman is not a bad thing, Alice. What are you talking about?
No. What I said was not always.
Yeah.
The latter
not
part said
always.
not always.
Not always. Well, strive
But
for
I
always,
said,
guys.
I said might bring more sleepless nights. That's what I said.
if anybody has the same issue that I have, the one solution I found is, or one channel I found is, I got this new cable I got has the NASA network, two channels in the NASA network.
Yeah.
And that's a pretty nice one to try and fall asleep to. You just get a guy talking, like you said, Malcolm, like a documentary, usually someone talking in the background, but this is like, all space. Like this was talking about all their missions to the moon and stuff.
So John, my suggestion is to find some love. My suggestion is comfort and love, and yours is like to our audience, and yours is tune in to NASA.
Yeah, well, it worked last night anyway.
Right on. Whatever works, right? Whatever works.
Yeah, I can't watch. I think I was mentioning to you, Alex, yesterday when you invited me on, was that being a little bit on the right wing side of things, or probably more or less on the right wing things. And you guys, I'm not sure. I know for a fact, but I'm guessing you guys are all
on the right wing, but doesn't mean right though. Let's skip that.
Yeah. But with that being said, I've been watching a lot of Fox on my TV.
Yeah,
on the program like that night, and I love watching Fox News. Don't get
of course you do. Of course you do.
But sometimes it gets just a little much, man, and that's all that they televise, right? Like Fox News, that's pretty much, unless you get really really late at night, pretty much it's all that's ever on Fox News is.
Are they still going on about the election being stolen?
Is no, it's just straight up violence now. It's just straight up Israel. Like Russia's rarely even mentioned. Russia, Ukraine is rarely ever mentioned. It's all about Israel.
Yeah, there's something more new and exciting engagement.
Well, they are more exciting. Too. There's another. I can't remember where it is, but it's starting to pick up momentum. It is another situation of unrest that the U.S. has its hands in, but I can't. Why is it that I can't remember what it is? Yeah,
Syria.
Oh yes, thank you, Syria. There you go.
Oh well,
So they're trying. I don't know what kind of rope-a-dope they're doing, or like why is this all of a sudden becoming like it's starting.
They've been no. Syria's been going on for years. Like the U.S. has been trying to eliminate Assad for years, and to as much as what I believe to be planted evidence, even like the U.S. have been blowing up shit in Syria and saying Assad's doing it, and he's actually, if you go to YouTube, there's documentation and interviews with Assad and the people of Syria.
Right.
Actually, funny enough, we just actually last week customer that's looking to buy a van. She went to a place, and the kid that runs the place is Syrian. So I met with him, or he actually came by my place last week, and we talked. And yeah, he loves this president. He thinks he'd do anything for this president.
Oh no way!
He's just been Canada for 8 years, and that's the general
consensus.
Consensus on the people. They love the president, and so the hype and all
the way it works in a dictatorship. It's usually
hey, guess what, Johnny? I believe most governments are dictatorships.
I'm not,
you know what I mean? And to a degree they have to be. There's different levels of dictatorship.
They usually love, like even in a monarchy, very similar. But
no.
They generally
they generally love. People aren't stupid though. Like that's telling people. Like that's you insinuating people are stupid. People aren't stupid. Like people, you can't treat people like shit and people love you. Okay, like it's not gonna happen.
No, generally,
if you're out there killing people, it's like Gaddafi. The people love Gaddafi. He paid for universities. He treated people well, and yet the U.S. paints him like this tyrant. People love Saddam too.
Cuba, they love that guy. That family's been running Cuba for quite some time now. I was wondering that the other day.
No, the problem is when you resist the U.S. influence, they find a way to take you out. And I'm not sure why. I can't remember why the U.S. is interested in Syria, but there's resources in Syria that they're after. It's always the U.S. always has a game plan, or oil or something.
Yeah, and always go back down to oil. It's like it's kind of like their MO. It's like, what do we need out of here? Or I guess also gold or some precious gems or something like that.
Well, it's democracy. Like, and I think Churchill said it best probably, because he always had to. He always had to. I mean, he was getting mutilated by, or getting destroyed by one guy.
Listen. The U.S. has their own fucking problems with guns, as we just talked about. Like, let's take care of that first, maybe before we go fuck around with Syria, like trying to control other countries. Get the fuck out of here.
Yeah.
There's no money in gun control for them at all.
Well,
Like, you know what I mean?
Not
Like
when the biggest lobby,
controlling their stuff.
not when the biggest lobbyist.
So in mid 2018, in mid 2018, your buddy Johnny, the Trump administration indicated its intention to maintain an open-ended military presence in Syria to accomplish U.S. political objectives.
Yeah,
At least
well,
that was blatantly
I mean,
open,
that's a
though.
given. That's what the U.S. does, man.
Including countering Iranian influence.
There was a lot less violence under Trump than the last two Democratic presidents. I'll tell you that, though.
Oh really? Oh really? Really? Oh really?
100%.
Really? Have you talked to the Mexicans? Have you talked to the shithole Africans? The shithole that live in Africa? No.
No, there was, but he didn't have any wars. Anyways, we'll say that
he didn't, right? Because words are not about war. War's only about guns. War, you can only have a war with guns, not words.
Yeah.
Is that right, John?
No, I just don't. I don't think there was nearly as much violence as there has been under Obama and Biden.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Really? Because you're not black and living in the U.S. That's why.
Maybe, or maybe it's just because I watch too much Fox News.
That too.
That too. Definitely.
That too. Where that white kid is running through town with a rifle shooting all kinds of people. Where that white kid, Kyle Ritten shithead or whatever his name is, running through town, killing all kinds of people and gets to walk.
Right.
Yeah.
There, for example.
Yeah. There was, because that was incited by what?
Rodney, George
right?
Floyd.
And then they were
and a host of mass killings.
And then that kid went and shot like everybody. Like,
well,
everybody didn't look like him. That's the thing.
Yeah.
And didn't that kid, is that kid in jail? I can't even remember.
No, he got off.
Which one are you talking about?
The kid got up.
Kyle,
look it up. Kyle, whatever. Kyle
something. Can't remember. But I know it was.
Did he do?
Kyle Rittenhouse was his name. Rittenhouse.
He shot everybody at a march, a peaceful.
He shot 3 men, 2 fatally.
Oh, I think I know which one you're
during the civil unrest in Kenosha, Wisconsin, in August 2020, when he was age 17.
I think I know which one you're talking about. Yeah.
Well, it's kind of hard. He's the dude that was rolling around with a semi-automatic rifle, firing at people that were down on the ground and everything.
He got up out of his house with this semi-automatic for self-defense.
Yeah. He felt. What did he say?
Threatened when he left his house with a semi-auto. Yeah, when he left his house with a semi-automatic.
He felt threatened.
When he left his house, when he left his house to go to this protest with a semi-automatic.
I need protection, like really.
Like that's more guilt than O.J. Simpson in a Bronco ride. 2.
Yeah.
He shot 3 and killed 2.
Yeah.
Oh.
And walked.
That's not so bad.
Wow.
No, he's got a point. I have to agree with Johnny on this because for the U.S. standards, that's not so bad.
By U.S. standards,
because
that didn't even make the fucking newspapers.
Actually did, but because usually these public shootings, tally up to a lot more people, right?
And that was at what kind of rally?
It was
protest against violence.
Yeah, exactly. And this dude just rolls up with his.
But you guys aren't gonna allow me to come out here and start shooting people? That's bullshit. I'll show you.
he went to a protest against violence and he was threatened
with an AK-47.
And he felt threatened.
No, it was AR.
He went to
AR-15, right?
Yeah,
big huge rifle. And the thing is too, when the police caught him, they gave him water. They gave him a hamburger. They're like,
oh, never mind when the police caught him. Malcolm, shut up. Do you think if you and I were walking down the street with this AK, whatever the hell he was carrying, this guy strode right by all the police officers going to the protest?
I doubt you'd be caught and apprehended.
No, this guy wasn't even concealing because this fucking thing was like bigger than him, this gun. Okay.
Oh, yeah. It was an
So-
AR-15. It was a big long
Yeah,
rifle.
yeah. And so he's marching right by the police officers, a 17-year-old.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
And not one police officer
I'm
says,
thinking of a
"What the
different guy. I
fuck?"
think.
No, nobody on the streets is carrying a gun. This fucking kid's carrying a gun, and he's not in police gear.
Yep.
Well, he's in some sort of militia gear. Maybe that's what.
Yes, he was. He was in militia gear.
Yeah.
He was carrying this gun.
Well, maybe they thought.
This is the
maybe they
gun he
thought
was carrying.
Oh my
Yeah, maybe they
goodness.
thought he was army.
Well, punch in Kyle Rittenhouse. See if we can see a picture of him
that's
carrying his
that's
gun.
what the AR-15 or whatever it is looks like.
Yeah,
What's it
yeah,
called?
yeah. And this kid was just like strolling down the street with it.
There you
like
go.
that.
Yeah, that's just
Yeah,
that's,
that's him right there in the green.
yeah,
That's
I
what he's wearing
remember
there.
this. I remember.
And
this.
yeah, right there.
And how
Okay.
smart is he? He's wearing gloves.
Okay,
He's just
no,
so
no.
confident.
He's walking by grown ass
So
men,
confident. Yeah.
right? Does that kid look threatened there? I don't think
Oh,
so.
he looks
Looks
terrified.
pretty fucking
He looks
confident. He
terrified. Look
he
at him.
looks like he's first degree here.
And how old was he?
17.
17. Yeah,
17,
Yeah.
not carrying the world, and just
and should be on death row, but no walking.
not guilty. Recapping the biggest moments. Like I can't even deal with that.
No,
Like,
that's
look at this.
And you know, like we are like bystanders very far away from these stories, because remember that these are all real people. The people that we speak about that are at bloodshed by somebody else's actions, they have families, they were mothers, they were fathers, a million things, right? So, you know, my heart goes out to the people that are left behind.
Yeah.
And to the caregivers that have to try to mend these people back together to good health. You know, I mean,
Oh, I know, right?
Yeah.
Like,
Go back.
I worked at
go
a
back,
hospital for many years. It's just not, none
Oh.
of this is cool. None of it, you know,
Yeah.
yeah.
yeah, it's
Well, yeah, sorry, Malcolm, you're something, because in the US, even though he's acquitted on all charges, I think there was a lawsuit after similar with OJ Simpson. I wonder what happened to that lawsuit. Not that.
oh, really?
Oh,
You
Yeah.
saw that?
So one of these things you're on just this last page was showing something about a lawsuit.
civil suit.
Oh yeah, right there. Lawsuit against Kyle Rittenhouse over Kenosha shooting. I wonder what happened there.
Oh, 1 second. You guys probably can't hear this. 1 second. Let me make sure you can.
Or you could just tell us though.
Yeah.
Because it's funny, they never, or I never really heard much about that.
No,
Or
neither.
what happened.
I haven't even
It
heard
goes to like the
anything
next
about this.
story, right? I mean,
Yeah,
things just go on
yeah.
the next story and something else, like, so we kind of lose track.
Well, no,
Right?
you
So
could,
there's
yeah,
some things that you
yeah,
follow a little bit more, right? And so that's why
yeah. Because
my
in the
thoughts
US,
with everyone out there.
you can be found not guilty in the murder, but then they could also sue separately in a lawsuit, like the families. Whereas in Canada, if you lose in court, you just lose. Like if you win, you win, right? Like there's no lawsuits after for wrongful death or anything. I don't think. It's a little different in the US that way.
Trying.
He
They're trying.
killed this dude. I did not realize that. I couldn't remember that. So this guy's dad is has that civil suit against Kyle.
To disarm Rittenhouse with a skateboard. Hoover claims officers allowed the
Yeah,
Oh, he tried to
Yes.
actually disarm him with his skateboard.
Wow.
yeah, because this
He's
guy
a
looks
hero.
dangerous. Because this guy looks dangerous.
Or
No, but
Could be
really,
the
like,
first guy I go after.
Yeah, because this guy looks threatening to me.
right,
like,
but you
compared
guys,
to-
like, look at this picture of this beautiful young man, you know? He's
Yeah.
like
No,
in
that's
the
what I
wrong,
mean.
right place, wrong place, you know? He
No,
tries to do something.
No, he
and
is at
he's,
the right
uh,
place,
he's-
trying to do the right thing.
Right. And here we call him this guy, you know, he's like unsung hero. So, you know, God bless his family, and hopefully whatever is supposed to happen with these lawsuits and stuff, that these families can stay determined and they got enough support around them, because it's already hard enough.
oh,
No,
absolutely.
Right.
but again, this is where, in my opinion, I think people need to protest till the judicial system gets it right.
Yeah. Because I
this
don't
is-
understand how this kid got acquitted. Like I'm just, you literally, there's how many witnesses? Like, were these people even shooting at him? I know this guy wasn't shooting at him. Like,
No, he just self-defense. It's like the mental defense, right? A lot of people can. He didn't claim mental, but he claimed self-defense, and yeah, you know, he's this innocent-looking retard. Right? Sorry for the word retard,
mhm,
but you know what I mean.
I know what you mean.
Is it looking dummy?
Like it's
Yeah.
ridiculous.
It completely is. It really is. But again, it's par for course as far as I'm concerned in the US and sometimes in Canada here. It's you know, the only difference with this kid is that he's not in a police uniform, right? Because so many police officers have been acquitted from killing people as well.
Oh yeah, like
And
if I'm not
Eh.
mistaken, the ones that so the woman went into the wrong home. She's a police officer, accused the black guy of
and
being
shot and killed him in his own home.
in his own
And
house.
she
And
got
she's
off.
like,
Oh,
"Oh, I
sorry,
thought it
I
was
knocked on the
my
wrong
house."
door. Yeah.
Really? You thought it was your house? Like how stupid are you to say
Yeah.
you like do you have all the same knickknacks, all the same furniture? Like I'm sure you don't. I'm sure the pictures on the wall were of him and his family and stuff like that. And she just went into this guy's house and straight up shot him right around this
Really?
time too. Like
Really?
that's the beauty of your man Trump there. Like, I mean, all this craziness happened on his watch. So yeah, you had like a lot of violence. Maybe there wasn't war in the world, but there was war in your country. Like, I mean, even
Oh, the worst war. It was the worst war within that country, and even more the elections. Did you guys forget January 6th?
That's what I was gonna say. January
Or
6th.
the global pandemic, where they forced, well, at least in this country, lethal injections into your arm to serve, to work, to live, to eat
This is true.
under some sort of public health orders. And the
Well,
economic
see,
crisis of that, the fallback.
well. Again,
Nuts.
here's where
That's war.
with all that. That's a different thing altogether. I think,
Yeah.
Aaron, because with that, I don't know if it's a government as much as it is big pharma that sold it to the government. You know what I mean?
Right, but it's
Obviously,
that's war.
obviously, the government
That's
paid for it.
war.
Oh,
That's
you're
war.
absolutely right. It's a form of war, but
Yep. Well, the
Oh,
biggest war I'll probably ever see in my own country. Hopefully, I don't see any worse than that.
Big Pharma was.
I've seen big pharma enough,
you're
and I know we were
talking,
going
you're
to talk
talking
about.
vaccinations?
yeah,
I was just talking about the global pandemic and the public health orders. How
under Trump.
under one umbrella of time, whoever the leaders were, right, of whatever country,
Yeah, but
they
we're
decided
talking-
exactly what you could and couldn't do. You could not go to church. You could not go to AA anymore. You couldn't buy a pen. You couldn't go outside. You couldn't work. You couldn't collect a paycheck. All the things that are completely against our Canadian Charter of Rights. You have to be able to work to feed your family.
Yeah.
That was such a crazy.
And then and so you can't do that, but you have to get this piece of paperwork that shows that you can go do it. So that we all did, whoever did that did it, and I had to do that also. So, but in English, it's by lethal injection. And now nobody even cares about this anymore. But we still do care about what we're still talking about is like wherever the war is, right? I know
there's still
myself.
people dying from that.
Of course.
Yeah.
Of course.
There's still people dying from it. I had a friend he's not passed yet, but he was forced for work to get the vax, and he got second. I think it was the second, might have even been the third one. But all of a sudden, all of his organs collapsed all at once.
That sucks. Your audio is terrible right now.
His heart, liver, lungs, and his heart, liver, lungs, and he just got out of the hospital actually, but he almost he didn't think
So
he was
there's
gonna make it.
multiple things that happened after like some sort of pandemic. This is global. This was not just so isolated in one little place, right? So we see the fallback of that in the economics, right, of the countries.
Oh, God,
homelessness, bigger, less jobs, less money, on and on, food costs.
Yep.
So on
It
and so
never
on. So
ended.
if that's not war enough, but I'm glad, I'm so grateful, and anyone that spends any time with me will know that how grateful I am for the peace. However, we are in this land that I'm walking in, we're not getting bombed from above. We're all capable of being good Samaritans still.
We are capable of that. I mean,
And we're doing it, and more people are doing it. So that's how we become stronger and more united of peace, happy, joy, abundance.
Well, and thanks for going back or bringing it back to the bomb, because that's something else that I want to touch upon, or that we talked about a little bit earlier regarding. I think Malcolm had mentioned that it's a polarizing topic, and yeah, I can see how it is polarizing, but at the same time, the reality of it is innocent people are dying on both sides. like that have nothing to do with this war, this fight, and that that needs to come to stop, like regardless of who's right, who's wrong. Like it's just not right now here, and so it's more of a common humanity thing than who's right and who's wrong, because I don't know if you'll ever get to the bottom of that. And I mean, I know you guys were last, but this whole thing is part of a land deal that happened. I forget which year, Malcolm, was it 1940 something?
Oh
It was 1947, I think it was.
47.
Yeah, like and again, as a result of the UN, of course, that went in there and fucking
and
took
cut
over
out
the
a
place
piece of
and
land
to cut up a piece of land that didn't, and of course the Jews said, yeah, sure, we'll take it, and the Palestinians said, fuck you, we don't agree to this, and they never have. Okay, but because the UN declared this, the US and some other countries recognized Israel as a, what they call it, a
Independent state.
as an independent state or parliament, or whatever it is, and the Palestinians are like, not happening.
No,
And they want
we
their own
didn't
thing
sign up
too.
for this one.
Yeah, but here's where this Hamas, which is a known terrorist group, or Palestinians, basically they're like they're fighting for their rights, really, to aggressively, and
Well, they were elected. Yeah, they were elected.
no, what Hamas is doing though is wrong though, or what they did was wrong.
Yeah,
but now innocent Palestinians that have nothing to do with Hamas is suffering because of what Hamas did. So here's where the Jews are fucked up, because the Jews have taken it to another level and just using that attack as an excuse to eliminate all Palestinians.
Well, it's a vicious circle that, like you said. I mean,
no, exactly. But where it's at right now, I don't give a fuck who's right, who's wrong. Innocent people are dying, and that's wrong. Period.
Yeah, well, they're talking about not even letting in humanitarian effort right now, like because that's how wars are won. And I was watching on the news the other day, and again, as right wing as I am, sometimes some of these things on this show I was watching, which I normally like, was they're like, well, back in the Civil War, Lincoln declared, he stopped all aid coming into this to Vicksburg, which was where the rebels were making all their weapons and stuff. So what he did was, instead of trying to attack Vicksburg, he surrounded it and wouldn't let anybody in or out. So he basically ended up starving all these rebels, basically, right? So and starving them to the point where they were eating rats and dogs and poisoning themselves. Anyways, this big long story on that. It's like, and we consider Lincoln one of the best presidents of all time, so what's wrong with Israel doing the same thing right now? That was his point, was people bitching that they're not letting in any humanitarian effort, which is the same military strategy as what Lincoln was doing in the Civil War. I was like, okay, fuck, yeah, back the fucking truck up here, man. Bit of a
That's why we love you, Johnny,
situation.
because I did not know where you were going with that, brother. Like, you lost me there. I was like, I'm looking at Aaron and Alex's faces, and they looked like mine. And I was like,
well, yeah, no,
because they went like this.
Not letting any more Israel. Last I heard, they were stopping. They're stopping. What's the humanitarian?
Hey, Johnny, your headset is dying.
They're stopping the aid. They're stopping humanitarian aid from getting to the people of the Palestinians.
Mm.
You mean
that happens all the time?
Yeah,
that happens all the time, guys. Like, look at Alex, in your homeland there was a flood, right? Mm-hmm. And there was a shortage of some water for the people, right? I heard that they did get it
in a certain region, in the Volta region.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. So people that are humanitarians, they actually don't. Someone like myself, my organization, we get called upon to do some of these things, and most of the time, the answer for me, because it comes to me, are we going? And I'm like, no, it's not safe. Because you think I'm going to take me and my people to somewhere where they're going to starve us too? Forget it. you know, why would we be bandaging up people from war when we would literally have our hands full in our own country, in our own province here? So
I haven't been watching much of the Canadian news lately, but it seems to me we're pretty much, as Canadian government, is pretty much staying right the fuck out of this mess. Or am I wrong?
No, I don't think you're wrong, because I hadn't heard any of them making any waves. I mean, the last thing I heard about the Canadian government was them giving AIDS giving aid to like
Wouldn't surprise me.
yes.
And plus I believe they have Canada has opened up the doors to immigration here, of course.
Oh, well,
You don't have to look too far to see that.
Yeah,
And you know,
and of
some
course, the U.S. has offered arms to
right,
the
and
Jewish
we
Israelis.
don't
Oh,
we
yeah.
don't
150
necessarily
million
have all
US, I
the,
believe it was.
Oh yeah.
so we don't actually really
They're
have
not gonna
all
stop
the
defending
right
Israel, that's
resources
for
here
sure.
for too much immigration, just because we have a lack of food, believe it or not, in our own country of Canada. It's hard to believe. We're at
Yeah.
the kind of end of the food chain here, and so immigration has flooded our country. That's what Canada is doing.
I don't think
And
there's as much a lack of food as there is a lack of money to buy food.
well, that's,
Yeah, there's
and I
that
mean,
too.
we should be more on the top of the food chain, but I'm just saying that there's more people coming into the country, and things are getting more expensive, and the wait times for hospitals and all these kinds of things are more money, and
Oh
that's what I'm
man.
hearing from, you know, so as I
I,
said, someone like myself got my hands full in my own country here.
gentlemen, I want to keep my voice down because the gentleman I'm living with is suffering from major health problems, and we had to rush him to the hospital the other day because we didn't think he was you know, he definitely needed medical attention, like severely. We almost called the ambulance, but we figured we'd be able to get him to the hospital quicker, so we rushed him to the hospital, and he couldn't breathe, and he was just pouring sweat. His temperature was through the roof, and they took him and put him in this hallway in one of the biggest hospitals in Calgary here, Peter Lougheed.
Oh,
And
yeah.
they told him he definitely wasn't getting in for the next couple hours, so he might want to try a different hospital.
Wow.
And it's one of our you know Calgary better than me, Malcolm, but I think Peter Lougheed is the biggest one, isn't it? Or at least
South Health Campus is the biggest, but I mean,
maybe we should have went there.
that's a mock. Well, it's super far, and who knows if they have enough staff, because that they built that big beautiful building, but there's never enough healthcare workers working in there. So
we ended up he ended up starting to feel better after an hour, so we're like,
oh, thank goodness.
Yeah, so yeah, we were fortunate, but we ended up bringing him back home, and we decided that the smart move would be, I mean, he's got money and stuff too, so the smart move is to just next time we're going to call the ambulance, because you go directly from the ambulance into a room, I think, which is essentially,
oh yeah, you're taken care of right away,
which is essentially paying for healthcare. You know,
every day, Johnny, it's the biggest industry.
Yeah. No, but I mean, he's got money, right? So fortunate enough that next time this happens, we're not going to the hospital. We're just going to call the ambulance, because even though it's going to be $1,000 expense, or maybe even
not even $1,000, it's $300, man.
It's how much?
It's $300. He's not taking stars. Stars is like $1,000. That's off the ride.
Yeah.
I don't know. In Manitoba, I'm pretty sure it's up to $800 for an ambulance.
Yeah, I think it's a little bit more than that, Malcolm, because I remember taking one in Regina.
I'm pretty sure 800.
Well, yeah, I took one in Regina about 20 years ago, and that was about $800.
And the air ambulance is free.
A friend of mine just had to take the ambulance. How long ago? About 2 weeks ago, and their bill was $300. So I don't know.
Was it subsidized? Maybe was it subsidized, or
that's a good question.
Maybe.
You know what? I will find out, and I'll let you guys know.
Because
they're like, oh yeah, it's a $300 bill. I was like,
oh, here, I'll just Google it.
Yeah, hey, there's this thing I have called Google.
Maybe.
Yeah.
What is average?
I really wanted to have this thing where it was like, ask Aaron. Just ask me. Ask me. Get my
like
there is room.
There was Ask Jeeves. Remember Ask Jeeves?
Oh yes, I
Jeez.
remember.
There
Ask
is
Aaron.
room for that out there, I think, on Google.
Yeah.
I don't think
Ask Aaron, and if
Oh.
I don't
more,
know,
but
be ask
Oh.
John. If John doesn't know, ask Alex. You know.
yeah.
Okay, so
I
Yeah,
thought
this
so.
this in spite of lower ambulance fees instituted by the provincial government during Brian Pallister's time as premier. She said Pallister flattened the fees across the province, taking them down to $250.
Oh wow, good
But
for him. That's one legacy he might have done.
Pallister?
Yeah.
Is Pallister gone now? Yeah, they
Oh yeah.
He walked away.
We got
He resigned.
Wob Canoe now. Keep up, Johnny.
the
Oh,
native guy.
Turn on the
their
news. Turn on the
mayor,
news
isn't
every
he?
now and then.
Anishinaabe.
He's a
Wab
native
Canoe
guy,
is
no?
he's Anishinaabe Ojibwe.
Ojibwe.
Ojibwe, yeah, he's the NDP. He's the premier of the province of Manitoba now.
Well, isn't
Oh,
that
he is the
something?
premier. Okay, I thought he
Yeah.
was the mayor or something.
This is what I said last time
Mayor.
on Real Talk, or the time before. I was like, if there was ever a problem before in the province that I come from Manitoba, if there was people in the way before, we have a big population of First Nation people in Manitoba, well, across the country actually, but speaking on that. So if there was someone in the way before of helping and getting people off of the street, housing, addiction center, hospitals, shelters, food, preventing these other, First Nation people from ending up in a garbage dump, for example. This is the perfect opportunity. The stars are aligning. If there was somebody in the way before, whether it was political party, I mean, I've been told it's the white people that are in the way.
Yeah.
And I was also told that they're not hiring white people anymore for some of these positions in Manitoba. So if there was anyone in the way before, this is like a really, really good opportunity to flourish and get everyone up to speed, whether it's internet, housing, hydro, water, shelters, the list goes on,
Yep.
You know what, you guys, I gotta run.
Oh yeah, I was about to just say we did run a little bit longer today, but thanks everybody for joining Real Talk. It's been awesome. Thanks, Johnny, and you're always welcome.
I really
to come
appreciate
back,
you
brother.
guys inviting me, man. And I hope you guys do again.
And
Maybe
then
next time I'll be a little more controversial with Alex, so we can get some good material.
I don't know. You did say some pretty controversial things, Mr.
Did I?
Honestly,
But don't worry.
you two could literally just like be at it different times during the week, and that's how we could promote the channel. Right?
Well, I really appreciate you
wise
guys
guys,
having me, man.
wise guys.
Thank you.
Right on.
Yeah,
Happy
wise
Sunday,
guys, man.
guys.
Yeah, it's fun having you on, Johnny.
Okay.
Right
Yeah.
on.
Well, we'll chat later. I got a zip, so I'm gonna log out.
Yeah.
No
It was
worries.
great seeing you, Malcolm. Aaron, love to see you too. And Alex, love you, pal. We'll talk soon. Okay.
You bet, buddy.
Thanks a lot,
All right.
guys.
We'll see you guys.
Cheers, guys.
Thanks, everybody.
Cheers.
Cheers.
See you.
Bye. Perfect time.
See you, buddy.
Later, brother.